Hey guys, and welcome back to today's video. Today's Saturday, July 20th, and today I'm going to be going over a potential 2024 presidential election scenario where Joe Biden decides to drop out, and this is basically where he is replaced by Kamala Harris from the state of California, and she goes up against Donald Trump, who is the current Republican nominee for president. So I'm going to first start off by categorizing the states that will be safe for Harris. So the normal states that would normally be categorized as safe Democrat states, but I do think a lot of this would definitely narrow up because Harris is not the most popular candidate. I think a state like perhaps New York we could see go to likely, even New Jersey, I think could be likely. But for now, I think I'm just going to categorize them as safe because I do think they'll still be a big margin for Harris. I'm actually not going to put Colorado as safe because I think that'll be likely. Even with Biden in 2020, Biden did not get it to a safe margin, so I think it'll still stay likely in this scenario that Harris is going against Trump. So next up, we have the states that are safe for Donald Trump. A lot of the rural states, the normal states you would see as safe. A lot of the southern region would be safe, and obviously all the ones that you see him filling in right now would be safe. Along with, actually, those are all the safe states. For the likely states for Republican, it would be Texas. I think Harris would actually do pretty well with Latinas in Texas. But in Florida, I think Florida would be safe. And Ohio would be likely. And Iowa would be likely. So this is what we have now. For the likely states, for Harris, I think we could see Maine at large being likely. New Hampshire would be lean, I think. Colorado likely, and New Mexico likely, perhaps even lean. I think I'll put it as likely for now. So we have that, and then Minnesota, I think, would be lean for Harris. Because I think Trump really does well in the suburbs. I mean, if we look at the 2020 election going into Minnesota, Biden did really well in the suburbs. As you can see, it was extremely liberal. Right there, it did pretty well, and then he did well in the Northeast region, and everywhere else it was pretty conservative. As you can see down here, it's pretty conservative. And in 2016, Trump actually almost won the state of Minnesota. I mean, look at this. He came really close. I mean, Hillary Clinton did do super well in the Minneapolis region, but in total, he lost the state by about 40,000 votes or so, which is pretty incredible. And it's interesting because I feel like Minnesota is one of the states that has been shifting to the right. And I think Trump definitely is targeting it in 2024. He's opened a lot of field offices in Minnesota along with Virginia. So that's something to look out for. But the interesting thing is Virginia is going to be a blue state in 2024 along with Minnesota. And so I think Trump is just trying to expand the map for future Republicans. And that's why he's opening all these field offices in those states. I forgot to mention Maine's 2nd congressional district, I think will be likely. Probably not safe. It'll still be a big margin for Trump, but like I said, it's not going to be in the safe. So now we have, I forgot to mention Virginia. Virginia will also be a likely. So now we have our basically key battleground states. I think North Carolina, I think Harris will actually do better than Biden, but I think it'll still be Alina. I think my estimate would be probably about 3.5 points for Trump. I think she does well with the black voters in North Carolina, and I think the same can be applied to Georgia. But I think she's just not going to get that gangbuster turnout from 2020 that we saw with Biden, where Biden absolutely did incredible. Let me pull Georgia up. I mean, look at the suburbs. Biden absolutely destroyed Trump there. I mean, that is dark blue. We're seeing 90 plus 90 right there in downtown Atlanta. So that was something that I think Georgia is definitely one of the states that is shifting to the left. But I think in 2024, Trump is going to win. No matter who wins the election, in 2024, Trump is going to win Georgia. And I don't think it's going to be by what we saw in 2016 whatsoever. I believe in 2016 he won by 5 or 6 points. And so it really did shift to the left by the time 2020 came around. And I think that's in large part due to Stacey Abrams, who was registering all those black voters and stuff. And so I think that's really what helped propel Biden across the finish line. In the state of Arizona, it's a different story. I think one of the campaign issues Harris is going to really run on is abortion. And I think because of the abortion rights referendum in Arizona, I think Harris is going to narrowly edge out. I think Maricopa County is definitely going to help her win because a lot of pretty much Arizona is a wasteland. And part of the reason Republicans did so well in Arizona for so long, from that John McCain era where he won like 6 terms, I believe, I think in large part that was due to Maricopa County voting so conservative. But as you saw from 2020, it has shifted. Mark Kelly and Kyrsten Sinema are the 2 Democrat senators. Kyrsten Sinema is an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, but Mark Kelly is an actual Democrat. Mark Kelly did extremely well when he ran for Senate and actually won. He won the special election and then beat Blake Masters in the 2022 election. And so he's done pretty well. Now our next state we have up is Nevada. Nevada is interesting because it has a large Latino population, and unlike Texas, I think Harris will actually struggle to do well here. So I do think it would go to Donald Trump, probably by my guess is less than a point, so probably about R plus 0.5 perhaps. And Nebraska's second, I also forgot to mention that. I think that would go tilt Republican. I actually don't think Harris would win it. Obama won it in 2008, lost in 2012. Clinton lost it, and then Biden won it. Actually, Biden won it by 6 points in 2020, which was pretty spectacular for Democrats. That was pretty. I was kind of shocked when he won because I didn't think he was going to win that district. Now we have our last 3 states. Let's start off with Wisconsin. I think Harris is actually going to really struggle to perform with white working class voters. I mean, if we look at 2020, Biden narrowly won. He won by 20,000 votes in Wisconsin, which is crazy. I mean, really, a lot of the votes are coming from the Madison area and Milwaukee area. That's where Democrats do well, and that's really how they have been able to win in Wisconsin. But with the scenario with Obama appealed to a lot of blue-collar workers. And if we look back at the even like 2012, you can see that the regions of Iowa, Wisconsin, like the western part of Wisconsin was extremely liberal, and that's because they had a lot of white working farm voters there. And I think part of the reason Obama did so well in Iowa was he promised change, because during the Great Recession in 2008, farmers really struggled to keep their businesses afloat. And so I think that's why Obama did so well in the region and really did well with the white working class. And so I can't see Harris appealing to those people. And next up we have Michigan. Michigan is a very interesting state because at the state level, it has voted pretty liberal. Michigan has a Democrat governor, Gretchen Whitmer, 2 Democrat senators, Gary Peters and Debbie Stabenow, and has, I believe, a 7-6 Democrat delegation at the House level. And both state House and state Senate are controlled by the Democrats. But at the presidential level, Donald Trump just changed that completely. That was one of the states that Donald Trump flipped, and he flipped it by, I believe, it was like 0.2 something in 2016. Let me pull this up real quick. In 2016, he flipped Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa, and Florida. But as you can see here, he won it by about 0.2, which is amazing. I think due to the large farmland area in Michigan, I think Trump narrowly takes Michigan. I would say probably about 0.9 or so, maybe even 1%. I really do think Harris would get crushed in this. But it's a different scenario in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I do think Harris wins. But let me explain myself. So historically speaking, Pennsylvania has kind of been a pretty, I guess you could say it's been a liberal state. Its senators Bob Casey Jr. and John Fetterman are very popular, actually. John Fetterman, coming from the working class, a lot of people can relate to him, and that's kind of what propelled him into the office. And even looking back, like 15 years or so, the Philadelphia suburbs were pretty liberal. And actually, if we look at the 2020 results in Pennsylvania, you can see that Biden did extremely well in those suburbs. I mean, if you look at the precincts, it's pretty much blue. And then also Pittsburgh and the Erie area helped, but mostly on the east side is what propelled Biden to victory there. And I think that's what Harris is going to see, because I feel like the black voters of Pennsylvania will come out more than they did for Biden, because Biden is just another white guy that we've had in our government for the past, like, he's served since the 70s. Like, that's 50 years of his life in public service, which is, I think there needs to be some regulation on how long you can serve and stuff. And so I don't think people should be serving 50 years in our government. But like I said, Harris is going to receive those votes from the black and Philadelphia region. I think she's just going to do well with appealing to them and getting them to come out. I think the same can be applied to Georgia. I could see Harris winning Georgia, but Georgia is such a big state and has a lot of Republican voters there, and it's just gonna, like I said, 2020, that had gangbuster turnout, but we're not gonna see that in 2024 whatsoever. So this is my 2024 prediction. If Joe Biden drops out and Kamala Harris replaces him and goes up against Donald Trump. As you can see, Donald Trump does crush her a lot. I could see a scenario where Trump actually wins Arizona by a tilt and Pennsylvania by a tilt too, or Harris could win Michigan. I could also see that and still win Arizona too. There's a lot of different scenarios I could see, but in the end, I do think no matter what scenario happens, I think Donald Trump would still beat her. So yeah, I actually think Harris might do a little bit better than Biden in some states, like I said, Pennsylvania and Arizona. But I still think if Biden doesn't drop out, I think I could see Biden winning Arizona. But actually, if Biden does stay in, I think he could win Michigan. So this is my 2024 prediction if Joe Biden drops out and Kamala Harris replaces him. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what states you would change, flip, etc. in the comments down below. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before Election Day. And so thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.